I told him, look, I'm sorry, but this girl cannot stay here. She has to go. And I went in the house, and when she saw me, she was like, my God, what happened? You look awful. So, excuse me, who is the warrior? And then she lifted her arm again for the second lick, like, boom! And he opened the door slowly and peeked through. Maybe that woman attempted to murder me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mel, and we are back with another mommy story time. Yeah, the last time we left off with the abortion story, and then she say, so other something happened, but me not really know what else happened. So you see, while you guys are watching this, I get to hear too. So I'm basically one of you guys, just that I'm in person. Okay, so mommy, please take over and guys enjoy.
Disclaimer: the stories that I'm going to tell in this series are my experience, my truth, and my point of view over the past 38 years that I have been in Jamaica, and it's in no way intended to slander any person, the culture of Jamaica, or the island as a whole. Yeah, welcome back, Mel's lovelies. I realized that I never really told you guys a story about how we got into the guest house business, because actually that happened as well at the same time like everything else happened. One day a taxi drove up and two white ladies came out of the taxi, and we were like, what is this, you know? And then we greeted them and said hi and can we help you. And they said, yeah, we are from Germany, and we asked downtown if they knew a place to stay, and they sent us straight up here. I was like, okay, So we talked a bit, and it turned out that those two ladies came from very close to my hometown, and they were looking for a place to stay. And so we just said, okay, fine. We had a room empty at the time, and we said, all right, why not? Come in. And they spent a few days with us, and was very nice with them. And actually, we are good friends up to this day. And we are talking like 38 years, 37 years, let's say. And one of the ladies, she was involved with a person in strawberry fields, and eventually they even got married, and my husband and me were their witnesses. But before that, my life in the house, my marriage, my relationship with my husband, as I had been telling you already, kind of had deteriorated a bit, because he was always miserable and sad, and then it turned out he was depressive, and it didn't get better really. And then somehow the atmosphere in the house had gotten a little bit poisoned. So one of those two girls, the one from Strawberry Field, called me one day, and she said, Sabina, I want to go to Negril for a few days. Why don't you come with me? And I was like, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. I need to get out of here for a bit and change my outlook and my surroundings, and think a bit what is going to happen, what I can do. So I took a bus to Anoto Bay, where I met her, and guess what? That trip was supposed to take place now on a motorbike. She had a little motorbike, like 175, I don't know what. So we both jumped on that motorbike, each with a little backpack. And then you had your 2 white girls on a motorbike trip. And trust me, it was very nice because I mean when you're on a bike you see your surroundings completely differently than from a car. But it was rough too because I mean you know Jamaican roads probably, potholes. So we had a hard time reaching first Montego Bay. So now in Montego Bay we found a little place, cheap place to stay overnight because we were, I mean, seriously, my bum was hurting and hers too. And then we found this little place, and it was in a area where a whole lot of music was playing. And at that point in time, Stevie Wonder's "I Just Called to Say I Love You" was the hit in Jamaica, playing all over the place. And seeing that I was not feeling so well and really kind of depressed myself, this song stayed in my head, in my whole system up to this day. I do not like to hear that song.
Yes, people. She hates the song. You see, if me and my sister sing it, mommy get cross.
Yeah, but up to this day I cannot listen to it. So that was one part. Then we finally, next day we reached Negril, and we spent 4 very calm and lovely days there, doing nothing much. The only thing was, everywhere we went, of course, the 2 white girls on the bike. It was like a very unusual sight
An
at
attraction.
that time.
Yeah.
It was really an attraction. I mean, everybody was like, whoa. So we had fun just with that. So after those 4 days, I came back home and resumed our lives, and everything was going the same so way. I mean, you have to understand, I was really distraught at the time because, first of all, I'm Libra. Libra people need harmony around them. They are striving for harmony. And I am a very strong Libra in that sense. So I cannot take any friction around me, none at all. You know, right? So it was really hard for me to live under those, in my case, pressures. Other people might not even really be affected by it, but for me it was really hard. So
she's very sensitive when it comes on to, you know, even the slightest bad energy affects her a lot. So when it comes on to those stuff, it just affect her so much more than I would probably just look at it and say, "Sure, that not bad me right now." But mommy, Jesus Christ, if you don't talk about it and get over it, she just like a feel bad about it all over, like the whole time.
True. But then again, it's good to talk about things and get it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
You know,
so I think
that's
just
just
a very
her.
good thing. And then you have to imagine, I gave up everything I had in Germany to come to Jamaica. And that meant I was living in Germany in an old farmhouse with some other people. It was a very nice community we had there. I didn't have a job anymore at that time, and I didn't have a partner anymore at that time, but still I had my friends, I had my mommy, and I had a pretty good life. So I came to Jamaica now and kind of
For man stress you out, eh?
huh?
For man stress you
Yeah,
out.
few months stressed me out, for sure. And it was really rough on me because I was saying, why did I do all this? I mean, I love Jamaica. No question about that. My children love Jamaica. But how would it go forward from there? Anyhow, as I was telling before, we had, my husband and me each had a restaurant running at the time. So I wasn't home that much, and he neither. So it was like kind of a, how you call it, truth, or like nothing was really happening out of the ordinary. We were just like,
Then just did a how do you say it, just coexisting.
yeah, more or less, and we're happy that if we didn't quarrel or if nothing went on, and it was just like going on. Not satisfactory, but at least it was going on. And one day I came home earlier. I don't even remember what I wanted to do, and in the house there was a room, 2 rooms on this side. One room, it was a room where my boys were sleeping. In the middle was a bathroom, and then another room where the babysitter, Pam, was staying. So I went in my son's room, packing some things and stuff, and they were in the room as well. So just when I went out of the room, suddenly the door of the room across burst open, and I see this thing run out. And with a big iron bar, like, you know, them water pipe, but this way, in her hand, and she come to me and like boom on my head, and I was like almost fainted because it was really strong. It gashed open, blood was spraying out right away over my face, all over the place, and then she lifted her arm again for the second lick, like boom, and I had but I took my arm like this, so I could catch the lick. And I was so shocked, and luckily I didn't faint. My boys were right behind me. They were completely, what's going on here? So I went backwards and back in the room of my sons and slammed the door shut and kept the door shut. And I was I couldn't believe what just had happened. Maybe that woman attempted to murder me. And if I didn't even have my arm there for the second lick, I probably might have been dead. You know, because my arm hurt bad as well. So I was in this room, blood gushing out. I said, but I have to clean this up. I took anything like a piece of t-shirt also from my son and put it up here so and press it on, and what to do now? I was practically trapped in that room right now.
With a mad woman outside.
With a mad woman outside, exactly. And somebody who wanted to definitely get rid of me, obviously. Because while she did that, she was shouting on the top of her lungs, you white whore. And hello, white whore. I mean, you are
the one, exactly.
Right? I'm not doing anything wrong here. So excuse me, who is the whore here? But anyhow, I was completely shocked. And then my older son Yasha, he was always very courageous. He opened the door slowly and peeked through, because of course he was in no danger. And then he peeked through a little bit more, and then he went out and went in the other room and looked around in the house and said, she's gone, she left. And I said, oh, thank God. Still bleeding profusely, you know. So what to do? I decided, okay, I'm going to check my mother-in-law. My husband wasn't there, obviously, so check her and see if she knew anything to help me. So we walked off the house, and we had to go from way up top Springbank, going down the hill, going down to Bournemouth, going towards Norwich. And we walked way down to Bournemouth, and then a taxi stopped. They saw me bleeding. I was still bleeding, you know. And he looked at me and said, oh my God, can I help you? And that was very unusual, because, you know, normally taxi driver, they take nobody who has any form of body fluids coming from them. Exactly, they don't want to nasty up their car. And he was so helpful and he was so nice. And he said, come, I bring you anywhere you want. And I said, but I don't even have money. He said, never mind, come. So he carried me to my mother-in-law house. And I got out of the taxi, and I mean, really, you see, that is what I love about Jamaica. You have a lot of very nice people. And then I went in the house, and when she saw me, she was like, my God, what happened? You look awful. And I started to explain to her what just had happened, and she was completely shocked, because, I mean, first of all, she was a very Christian lady. She went to church and every Sunday and was well liked in the community of Port Antonio. And so she was completely shocked about this story, and then she got to contact my husband because remember at that time you didn't have no cellular, you know, it was pure landline or send somebody to give him a message or whatever. But somehow she reached to my husband. I guess it was landline she used. So he came and picked me up and told him the story. He was pretty shocked as well. And then him and me both went up to the house. Pam was nowhere to be seen. And I told him, look, I'm sorry, but this girl cannot stay here. She has to go. And he promised me that, and actually after that she never set foot in the house again, as long as I was there at least. And so it how to say it, it was like such a big shock for me and even for him. And then actually what he did, he took her completely out of the town. I think he brought her to Kingston or something, because she was not with her parents neither afterwards. So I kind of could relax more in the house again. I was more comfortable again and realized, okay, her presence, as my daughter is saying, I have a very strong feeling for aura and for other things, you know. So her presence was gone and I could breathe again and I felt so much better. And then my husband was so sorry about the situation. And we sat down and had a really good discussion, and he was even very, very sentimental and very open, and was starting even to cry, and yeah, but I want this relationship, I want our marriage, I want our family. So let's try again and let's go on and see what we can work out. And I loved him and I wanted to stay. I wanted our marriage to be saved as well. So I agreed to everything. And of course it was clear that nothing like that should ever happen again. And so we started to work on our relationship actually. And then as it turned out, about 2 months later, I was pregnant. Sollen wir jetzt weitermachen? Nee, ne? Und dann kommt das nächste.
Ja, musst du denn sagen? Du musst ja immer deinen Teaser-Schluss machen.
Okay, so this is it for today. Because what comes next is interesting as well. Because not only did I just find out I was pregnant, but at the same time, my marriage was finished. So see you next time.
People, mommy, I giving us a harsh ending, you see? Harsh ending, she leaving you guys high and dry.
Always.
Always. She product, you know? She product. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
I remember one day, one guy come in my restaurant in the afternoon. I have to tell you something that will affect your life. And I personally don't think you deserve that, and that's the reason why I let you know. Okay? And I was like, yeah, right. You know, Ovia, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant for you. What do you mean you have to leave?